Hello, Sarah Barton here at Angel Cuddle Cafe and Angel Cuddle Trails with the weekly tip. Now, I just want to say that why I do these weekly tips is to share spiritual wisdom and knowledge, but also, and importantly, to share being healthy, natural, traditional medicine, and healthy eating, so that you don't need the medicine. With the food that we put in our bodies, we can treat that as preventative medicine in a way, because we're putting the healthy food in. Which brings me to the reason for today's video, and that is avoiding gluten in our diet. Now, obviously, some people, they are intolerant, very sensitive to gluten, or allergic. Many people are actually, and they don't realize it. But so that's a good reason for avoiding it. My second son, he was very intolerant to gluten, couldn't eat wheat products when he was young, and I realized a lot later on, learned the lesson, that in fact that shows us that it isn't good for any of us, really, gluten. Some people, they're fine if they eat gluten, others aren't. Now, he wasn't. So I will stop rambling, and I will now go into the reasons why I came to talk about avoiding gluten today. I saw someone on Facebook had said that she was avoiding gluten for 2 weeks, and would she survive? Well, I answered and said, yes, you'll survive, and you'll probably feel much better for it. Now, when I was in Cyprus recently, I was eating the food, obviously, at the resort. I mean, there was lots of delicious desserts. And for the first few nights, I went a little bit mad, I was tempted by this gorgeous looking food. And I did not avoid the gluten, and I had some delicious cakes and so on, but the result was that I realized that I was very bloated, very uncomfortable, felt a bit sickly at times, and my joints were complaining a little, and I found that a bit strange until I realized what it was. It was that I was eating gluten, whereas usually I avoid it. So for the rest of the holiday, I was sensible, and I chose desserts that didn't have gluten in them, but oh, they were tempting, they were, oh. But having said that, I mean, you can find delicious alternatives. My daughter, one of my daughters, does a lot of baking. She loves baking, and I get alternative flours to wheat. I buy different flours: corn flour, rice flour, coconut, different flours for her to experiment with, and she comes up with some delicious desserts. Her crepes made with maize, I mean, lovely, yummy. And no gluten in sight, which is much healthier for us, and you feel far more comfortable. So I wanted to share with you some reasons why it's a good idea to avoid gluten. I will, in the blog post, go into far more detail, but I just wanted to quickly go through some reasons, and I did write them down so that I didn't forget to tell you. Let me find the right place. Okay, so humans do not fully digest wheat, and the undigested parts ferment, and that is what causes the bloating and the sickly feeling and gas and pain. Secondly, it's a pro-inflammatory agent. So it causes a rapid rise in your insulin levels, which causes inflammation at a cellular level, and so that can increase your for example, arthritis. If you've got arthritis, or just, you know, your joints get a bit grumpy at times, painful. It could be to do with the gluten, or it has been shown in people that decided to go gluten-free that the pain eased up, and they had better joints, and their arthritis symptoms decreased when they avoided gluten. So that's another good reason. You can, of course, the inflammation, another good point is that if you reduce that inflammation, which is caused by the gluten, you actually look like you've lost weight, because the inflammation decreases. Because we say losing weight, but it's actually losing size as well, really, because a lot of it is due to the inflammation and the food we're eating, for example, gluten. So I suggest you avoid it. It is an allergen, as I spoke about before. It's in the top 8, actually. The refined wheat has had all the nutrients taken out of it, and they actually have to put some nutrients back in. Well, of course, then it's not the same as the original nutrients being there. It's not so healthy for you. So gluten's not a healthy choice. Vitamins. Your vitamin intake, if you avoid gluten, your vitamin intake may well increase, because the wheat has got phytic acid in it, which reduces our ability to absorb nutrients and vitamins. So avoid gluten, and you may well have better absorption of nutrients, natural absorption of nutrients such as zinc or iron. I think I will stop there. There are other reasons why it's a good idea to, well, I'm suggesting it's a good idea to try it out, and see whether it helps you feel healthier, fitter, not so many aches and pains, not bloated, not feeling a bit icky after you've eaten. And let me know how you get on. I love to hear from you. And as always, you can contact me at Sarah with a H -Barton.com. That's at Angel Cuddle Trails. I do love to hear from you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Let me know whether you are following a gluten-free diet or not, or whether you have found that it may possibly be a good idea for you. You can find super alternatives. I don't know what I've done with it actually, but I was going to show you one of the snacks that I have, or I eat them at breakfast or as a dessert sometimes, and that's either rice cakes with a chocolate layer on, or a favorite of my daughter is the maize galettes, they're called here, maize with chocolate on the top. And obviously they are popular in the shops because sometimes I find it difficult to get them. The shelf is cleared out of them. They really are a nice dessert, and no gluten in sight. I was going to show you, but I don't know where I've put them. I obviously put them down as I was preparing and didn't bring them with me. So, love to hear from you. As I said, contact me at sarah-barton.com. I hope that these weekly tips are useful to you. Many blessings. Bye for now. Bisous from the south of France. Bye for now. Finding the